Hey guys, today I'm going to make a brand new video, and for today's video I am sat in the middle, right in the end of a B&Q car park. For today's video guys, I am actually going to be showing all of you my actual driving test route. I thought this might be entertaining to some people if you've got your test coming up. I'm going to be showing you guys the maneuvers I did, you know, giving you guys some tips, talking about my experience with it, because I've already spoke about my experience with it, but hopefully this is going to be entertaining to some of you. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to skirt my car over all the way to my driving test center, right? Okay, alright then guys, so I've just come out the test center basically. That is a very tricky road, right? Especially for like the start of a test. Okay, so this is the first roundabout they encountered. Basically there's a fuck ton of zebra crossings right here. Like 1, 2, and people are idiots. So they just cross without even fucking looking, man. And don't know if I can fit through that. Wait. Let me try and get through now. Probably shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm gonna give you guys some of my tips, right? I'd honestly say you've just got to basically be confident. You got to go into that test knowing you're gonna pass, basically. And even if you don't pass, you've still got approximately a limited times to pass. Okay, so basically, right, I went down this road. Okay, so here's another place where I didn't actually explain it well enough. Basically, I didn't get close enough to the car here, but this is an angle start, and obviously, this is where you have to pull up close enough to the car that you kind of have to slowly kind of ease out and look both forward and backwards because you can't see past the car. But you've got to be far enough away from the car to basically be able to pull out. Now, here's coming up to my first maneuver basically, and this is the fucking Bay Park beach. What? I cannot see this fucking car, man. Okay, so now this is where I did my first maneuver, and basically, right, let me just tell you this. This is where I did my first maneuver, right, and before I even got into the bay, he said, yep, that's done. This guy was actually a really nice examiner. He was a bit depressed, and honestly, just like, something you got to understand with examiners is they're literally just people. So like, talk to the guy or woman, not being sexist. What I would honestly say is like, talk to your examiner. At this point, like, we were talking about what I was doing in school. Let me just make sure I don't hit this guy. At this point, right, you're meant to like obviously figure this all out on your own, but this guy like literally told me where to go, like on this one-way road. Basically, you're pretty sure, like, as a test, I don't think they're meant to tell you, like, unless it's like dangerous, but you just like, go this way. And I was like, all right, fair enough. Now this is a very tight like car park bit, so I'm gonna roll down my windows and I'm gonna make sure I don't curb my wheels, because I care about my foot. Fucking hell, man. I'm not doing everything that you're meant to do in a test, right? Quite clearly, I'm not checking my mirrors as much as, you know, you should in your test. Okay, so basically, from here, I was asking him about his job, you know what I mean? Does he like it? Does he not like it? And he was basically telling me he doesn't like it. He hates his job. But somebody's got to do it, apparently. Woo! Now, from this point, I actually got given a Sat-Nav instruction. So he put on the Sat-Nav. I completely forgot about this in the video when I was filming it. But I liked having the Sat-Nav instead of actually reading the signs, because, you know, I don't particularly like reading road signs because I don't think I would be able to do it. I would have probably failed if I did. Now, this was actually a nice kind of Sat-Nav route because this was the way I go home. You guys can see this in all my drive with me's. But then we come up to a roundabout that I always kind of like struggled with when I was learning to drive, and now it's kind of like the easiest roundabout for me because it's big. It's a 3-lane roundabout, and obviously I was told to turn right, so I have to stay in the right hand lane. This roundabout is quite easy. You just have to kind of follow the lines, and that's pretty much it. Guy's kind of doing my nutting. Oh, mate, could you go any slower? If you pull out in front of somebody, go. Put your foot down, right? If you're learning to drive, right, my biggest tip would be, for the exam, would be book it when you're confident to drive. If you're not confident to drive, don't book your test. Unless you're like, if you're like a little bit like unsure, that's fine. But it's like, if you're, mate, can you go? She's slower than me. If you're totally not confident with driving, don't book your test, right? If you pass that test, right, nah, that's a no-go, mate. If you book it when you're confident, you're gonna go into that test so confident, and you're gonna boss that bitch, right? And you know you're gonna boss that bitch, because if you don't, I'm gonna come after you, yeah? My test was like 6 months ago, so it's a little bit like faded in my head a little bit, so like, fuck me, that car looks like a fucking spaghetti omelette. Now, I want to know from you guys, right? Are you taking your test? Have you taken your test? How did it go? I honestly feel like I was quite confident on my test. It's like the lessons got me more scared than the actual test. Like, you know what I mean? I passed with no minors, and I passed first time. Let's go, beach. Let's go. Oh God, there's police there, mate. Okay, so this is a weird roundabout, but it's like, it's one roundabout connected to another roundabout, connected to another roundabout. It's quite nerve-wracking on the test. But this is coming up to the end of the test, and I can't actually tell you how we actually got home, because I quite honestly don't know. Oh. But yeah, we went down here. Jesus Christ, this is a shit road, isn't it? And then we turned left up here and did basically the emergency stop, right? Okay, so right about here where the postman is, we pulled up on the left side of the road, and he basically told me we're going to do an emergency stop. But quite frankly, I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a parallel park instead for you guys, because why the fuck not? Peep the parking, babe. Am I gonna hit it? Nope. I'm so close to that shit. But yeah, basically, guys, that is unfortunately the end of this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Hopefully this was beneficial to some people. Good luck to anybody with their test. I'm gonna pull up along the other side of the road now. And then just like, what is that parking, man? Basically, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see your faces in my next video. Comment driving for a subscribe, the first 3 people. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see your faces in my next video. Bye.
Got 200 on the dash, and I'm moving real fast in my lane.